Hello and welcome to Wheat City Beat. I'm Oceana Hall. Our program shines a spotlight on people doing interesting things in and around Western Manitoba. We're going to meet a host of talented crafters, a skilled mechanic, a collector, and a person with a passion for horses. We also get the chance to meet the storyteller who produced and crafted the features we will be showcasing on Wheat City Beat. And we start right now. Boys and their toys. Ever heard that phrase? The toy is often a vehicle, and the boys? They grow up to be men who are serious about their automotive hobby. Abby Jubinville joins us now. She's the producer of the next piece called The Mechanic. Hi Abby, what can you tell us about this story?
Thanks, Oceana. I had the chance to interview my dad, a heavy-duty equipment technician instructor, talk about his love of cars. In this video, my dad talks all about where his passion of cars began and how he feels about working on vehicles to this day.
I guess my, love of cars started when I was very young. I had some toy cars that some of them really stood out as opposed to others. Like the old classic 57 Chevy, some old classic trucks, things like that. That's when I knew that I really liked old vehicles. My dad had a 1954 Chevy, half-ton at the time, that I had also really liked. So that 1954 Chevy that my dad had when I was really young, I've gotten it back. My wife actually got it back for me for my 40th birthday. I'm hoping to start restoring it when I retire. Favorite memory? Not one memory in particular comes to mind, but I did used to enjoy helping friends work on their vehicles. There was a bit of some satisfaction that came with knowing that I helped somebody with any issues they had. Also, when I was younger, I used to do things like install lift kits on trucks and stuff like that that really caught my interest. I guess, like I said, my favorite part would have been helping people, friends, and it wasn't just cars, it was anything mechanical, snowmobiles, four-wheelers, dirt bikes, just helping my friends. But back then, I wasn't doing that as a living, it was more of a hobby. Once I started working on equipment as a living, that part of it kind of went away.
Anybody who ever collected hockey cards remembers the feeling of opening a new package. The crinkly plastic, the thrill of discovering the identity of your latest acquisition. Caleb Kramer is with us now. He's the producer of our next story about a collector of sports cards. Caleb, what's your story about?
Thanks, Oceana. I had the opportunity to interview Bryson Stepchuk, who turned his love for sports into a everyday hobby. Bryson collects sports cards from NHL to UFC. Hope you enjoy it.
How's it going? My name is Bryson and I'm a sports card collector. When you can collect cards of your favorite players or your favorite teams, it just adds another aspect to being a fan of sports and sports being a part of my life growing up. It just really, and doing it as a kid, you collect cards when you're a kid, and so just putting that into my life and having that as something that I do as a hobby has been awesome. My favorite card in my collection, that's a tough one. I have a few, but it would probably be one I actually got recently. It's a Topps Chrome rookie card of Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, if you follow baseball at all, Shohei is doing things that nobody's ever really done in the sport before, so I thought it'd be really cool to have a rookie card of his. Ways that I acquire cards usually is a lot through Facebook groups. There's a ton of groups on Facebook where people are buying, selling sports cards or memorabilia. Another way that you can do it is through eBay, obviously. eBay is a little bit harder sometimes because it's a lot of American sellers on there, so sometimes it's harder to acquire cards or it's more expensive. So that's why I tend to use Facebook a bit more. The best part about receiving a card in the mail is just, I think for a lot of people, it's something to look forward to. Obviously, hobbies, like everyone who has hobbies do it because they love it and it brings them joy. And so similar to like, if you're into, let's say, fishing and you have a big fishing trip planned on the weekend, you're throughout the week, you're counting down the days. Similar for people who are into the hobby, right? If they like collecting cards, you have a card on the way, you're watching that tracking number, you're following it, you're just excited to have that card in your hands, especially if it's a card that you've really wanted for a while or a card that you saved up for. A few things that have changed in the hobby in the last couple of years. Big one is obviously pricing of cards and boxes. When I started collecting a few years ago, you could get a box at Walmart for $20-$30, and now you're lucky if you get one for $50.
Lots of people dream of joining the army and becoming a hero. For some, they dream of starting their own little army. Morgan Walker is here. Morgan, this is about a man with an army of toy soldiers. Tell us about that.
Yeah, thanks, Roshi. Today I got the chance to meet with probably one of the biggest action figure collectors, but not really any kind of action figure, G.I. Joe. This man's probably one of the biggest G.I. Joe collectors here in Westman. Today, he took me through his collection, and I got to see some of his childhood toys and some of the toys that he has bought in his adulthood. Hope you enjoy.
I first got interested in G.I. Joe when I was 9 years old, because my oldest brother, who's 14 years older than me, used to work for the railroad, and when he was in his early 20s, and was flush with cash, and he used to buy me different things like Lego or different toys and stuff. So he bought me the G.I. Joe figure and told me that when he got back after 2 weeks of being away with work, if I took care of it, he'd buy me more. The first figure my brother bought me was a figure called Short Fuse, and he was a motor soldier. And then when he came back, he had bought me a figure called Stalker. He was a ranger, and then he bought me the Mobot tank and driver Steeler. Facebook groups that I belong to, I just kind of went on Facebook and started searching for G.I. Joe and came up with some different groups. There's all kinds of groups for all kinds of toys or anything you think of. So there's actually two main groups in Canada, and the States has tons and tons of groups you can go on. Every so often we trade or sell and have sales on the Facebook group. So that's kind of how I first started buying G.I. Joe as an adult. When I buy figures now, I try to buy a complete figure, so it's a figure with all the accessories. But I might buy a figure and not like maybe some paint rub. It's not mint that I want. I want mint as best as possible that I can afford. So, because the mint to the figure, the more money it costs. So I try to find figures that I like and that I want, or the ones to replace ones that I had as a kid that got wrecked or broken, but also ones I didn't have as a kid. And then I might find a figure, but there's parts that aren't as mint as I want. So I'd look in the sales that are in the Facebook groups, and I might buy other figures, and then I'll take them apart and I'll piecemeal them together so that I have a mint complete figure that all the parts to it are all all mint the way I like them.
Canadians are lucky to be surrounded by thousands of talented Indigenous artists and crafters. Their preciser work produces crafts of beauty and meaning. Ruhao Liu is with us to tell us more about his story, The Beater. Hi Ruhao, tell us about your piece.
Thank you, Oceana. I had the opportunity to talk to Shayla Pruden, a beadwork artist, and learned her passion and love for beadwork art. Through beading, she was able to channel her creative energy and found a platform to express herself. Let's watch the video and find out more.
My name is Shayla Pruden, 22, and I'm an Anishinaabe, so I'm from Peguis First Nation. I do a lot of beading. I think I started beginning of 2023. Mom used to do it a little bit when I was younger, but it was never something I was interested in at the time. You know, being a kid to ACC has opened me up to a lot of new things, like learning how to bead from crystal. A lot of it stems from like my Indigenous history. My family is just starting now to kind of speak up about their culture, so I'm slowly starting to learn more about my culture, and that opened up a whole new area for my Indigenous history and learning the history. You know, when you have a vision in your head for images and stuff and creating art, now I can actually put that into something like beading and create designs and characters out of the beadwork. I made myself my first pair of earrings, and they were the biggest earrings I've ever made, but the work I'm gonna do today is some of the same things, some beading, and this one will be our own little creation of making a candy cane. The first step would be getting your thread and your needle. So basically threading your little piece of thread. Today we're gonna use white, and you're gonna thread it to about arm's length. You're gonna have 2 of them. So it's gonna be double stringed, kind of like this. So there's actually 2 strings. Second step is going through our piece of felt and pulling it up. So for candy cane, I would do the straight outline, and then I'd go sideways. And then once it's all put together, you're gonna wanna put a back on. So basically that's like, say, another piece of this felt. You'll put another piece on the back, and you'll do edging around the side, and that's basically where you just pull 2 beads through, pull it back through, and that way they're snug on the top like this. And once they're snug on top, you'll just pull 1 bead through and then tighten it, and you'll keep doing that 1 bead at a time until you get your border. And then that's when you can glue on your little pin here, and you'll be able to wear it. Beadwork means passion, creation, to me in my eyes, I would say. We host beading sessions for their grad caps, so I helped a lot last year. Professional yet, but I'm getting there. I still have a lot to learn, as I'm still learning new techniques every day, so I say I still have a long way to go before being professional.
Looking after livestock could be considered a kind of art. A farmer's animals need a human touch to survive. Parker Henderson has produced a story for us about one farm manager who blends the ancient skill of looking after animals with modern farm science. Hi Parker, tell us about your story.
Thank you, Oceana. I met with Lauren McGee, and we discussed her journey into the agricultural world and how she warmed up to eventually loving the research part of her job. She told me many things that she enjoys doing, but the one that stuck out to me is she loves working with the cattle.
Within kind of my job title, the the first thing I go to is I am kind of in charge of the collection and entry of the research data. So I'm out there collecting, and then I take all of those numbers that we collect and I enter that all into the computer so that it's in a format that we can make graphs and we can report on. And then the other part of my job is just very much farm support. MDFI is a not-for-profit organization that kind of, to sum it up, is that bridge between academic and the producer. I like working with the cattle. I was born and raised on a farm, and so that is something that is very dear to me. But so not only do I get to work on the cattle, but I get to, because this job is so diverse, there's a ton of different things that I get to do. So through the extension things, I get to help to educate and help other organizations come in. We use this learning center space as a place where other organizations can come in, put on workshops, do the demonstrations on what they have to show so we can help educate. I was born and raised on a farm, so agriculture has always been a passion of mine. And so I initially, going into my first working summer, I had decided that I wanted to be in agriculture, but I did not want to do research. And that was something that I went into, coming into this job, I thought, I'll do this job for one summer, but I don't really think I'm gonna like the research part. But then as I kept coming back, and I grew the appreciation for the research side of things. And then I did a summer working for a professor, doing more beef research, and so it kind of just kept me here, and so this was a good next step to my journey.
Perfect. All right, thank you, Lauren.
What's the old saying? My kingdom for a horse. Lincoln Zettner is here to tell us about one local man who didn't need to go quite that far to be near the animal he loves. Hi Lincoln, can you tell us about this next piece?
Thanks, Oshi. I'm here to talk about when I went out to Angus Mowat's family farm to learn a bit more about their bond with horses.
My parents, they both worked at the racetrack in Surrey, BC, which is where I was born. I was being carried around, and my mom would walk me up and down the halls of the racetrack with all those racehorses in there. My grandfather, he trained racehorses, so I got to ride on them a lot and always was hanging out around the horses. It's incredible. Horses, I would argue, are probably the best therapy animals. If you're stressed out, the horse knows you're stressed out. So they'll come out, if you're out in the field with them, they'll come up and they're always soft and gentle with you. They just want attention like a dog, pretty much. Feed and water them every day. You gotta brush them, you gotta pick their hooves out. Whole ordeal. You gotta get a farrier out here, and he stands there for an hour and picks up each hoof, trims it shorter, and makes sure they're nice and round and level. Because if you don't do that and a horse hurts itself, you actually have to usually put them down. So Marco, he's the thoroughbred that I usually ride. He's a big suck. He loves attention, he loves people, and he loves his other female horses. You take the girls away from him, he loses his mind. Jilly is my brother's off-the-track thoroughbred. She won 50 grand at Assiniboine Downs, and she is as hot-headed as a horse can get. She likes her routines. If it is 5 o'clock and you haven't fed her, she is at the gate stomping on the ground and snorting at you, and she's upset. Oates is he's a 4-year-old that we had here. When he was born, he was handled so much. He thinks he's people. My brother's a lot bigger than my family is, so my brother used to roughhouse with him when he was a little foal. So now he thinks that everybody can do that. We cannot. Patches is my mom's old mare. She's what we call a bomb-proof horse. You could touch a nuke off behind her and she wouldn't even flinch. Put little kids on the back of her and they will ride around the arena and you don't need to do anything. She's got that kid like a good babysitter. It's a whole other experience from a dog, because a dog wants to get your approval. A horse just wants to be there with you. It's relaxing. And a lot of horses, they like to work. It's teamwork, and you gotta learn how to communicate with them. You're always around them and you always feel the love from them. So that's the most rewarding part.
The Western Manitoba Centennial Auditorium is a Westman institution, but nobody can enjoy its shows without a technical wizard working behind the scenes. Benjamin Kennedy is with us. Ben, your story is about a talented technician at the YMCA.
Thank you, Oceana. I had a chance to speak with Curtis Clark, the stage technician operator for the Western Centennial Auditorium. Here's the story with all the details.
My name's Curtis Clark. I'm currently from Brandon, Manitoba, originally from McCurry, Manitoba. Started working there in 2018. Ended up being a really kind of drastic change for me. Got to start introducing myself to audio and to video, and video, lighting, audio, all sorts of stuff. Had a lot of learning to do. That changes on a day-to-day basis. There's lots of cases where we'll have acts coming in for like rock bands where we have a whole bunch of things to haul in, drum kits to set up, amplifiers to set up, a lot of cables to run. And then you get situations where you have like stand-up comedians where it's only going to be 2 or 3 microphones, and typically wireless ones at that. So we got a wide variety of things, making sure we can get the audio checked, getting everything cleared from that part, aiming specials, approving what they want for the lighting sort of setups, and making sure they've got everything they need. We want to make sure they have a positive experience with the place, and if they get a positive experience, we all get a positive experience. If you have a knowledge of lighting, it can end up being really good to be able to know how to aim, how to shutter, how to control lights for that part. For audio, knowing how to run your channels, set them up properly, setting up the proper order of them the way that the band or person that's doing the audio likes, making sure you've got your levels set to the proper thing, gain structuring, effects, which I obviously need more experience with, but yeah, everything kind of has its place. Yes, and there's a few different situations that kind of stand out. One of them was we were 5 minutes from the door opening. Somebody had gone through the audience and hit one of the seats, and for some reason something went wrong on it. I ended up having to go downstairs, grab the parts to be able to replace it, come upstairs and fix the seat as people were coming into the auditorium. So just saving a seat on that one. I love it when we have events coming in for different setups. To me, it's kind of like Lego and Tetris. First of all, you pull it out of the truck, you get it into the building, you put it all together. Make sure everything works, everything's tested, everything's completely exactly the way they want it. And at the end of the night after the performance, we tear it all down, put it in the truck, and it disappears. It's rewarding because you get to see something come together, you get to see the entire performance, and then be able to put it away and send it off.
Psychology is the study of the human mind. Our producer, Isaac Roberts, will introduce us now to someone who hopes to someday unlock the secrets of the consciousness. Hi, Isaac. Can you tell us about the story we're going to see?
I got the chance to interview Owen Maurice. He's a current psychology student at Brandon University, and he's going all the way to get his master's. His story is interesting to me because he represents kind of a perfect student to me. He's very genuine about his classes, and he's very honest about his struggles. We'll see his video right away.
My name is Owen Maurice. I am a third-year student at Brandon University, enrolled in the psychology program. My interest in wanting to go into therapy and counseling kind of started in early high school through a lot of interactions I had with the school counselor, because he helped me a lot through a lot of troubles and a lot of different areas of my life throughout high school. And just connecting with him and connecting with other students, it really gave me a better idea of student and adolescents' mental health, and I kind of slowly discovered that that was something I really, really wanted to pursue and help with. My main goal is essentially that I want to work as a therapist and counselor specifically for adolescents and teens and young adults. The university experience is interesting, for lack of a better word. So this is my third year, so since this is the end of the first term, pretty much 2.5 years I've spent doing this. The psychology courses are definitely interesting. Philosophy I find to be very interesting too, since that's my minor, so I'm taking a lot of courses for that. I spend a lot of free time volunteering at Bayside, which is pretty much a care home in Killarney that is a sort of final destination stop for elderly people or people with terminal illnesses or people who just can't live on their own anymore sort of thing. For me, an intrinsic motivation part of it is that doing this and talking about people and expanding my worldviews and understanding people and that kind of thing is something that I genuinely enjoy doing a lot. Just hearing other people and seeing the different situations people are in and getting a broader understanding of how the world works around me and feeling more connected to everybody is something that gives me a lot of happiness and makes me feel really happy.
For thousands of years, human beings have relied on leather goods for clothing and utensils. Artists who work with leather inherit that long tradition of craft work. Jenny Onro is the producer of a story about one such artisan. Jenny, tell us about your artist.
Thanks, Oshi. I got to meet with Riata Dalby, who does leatherworking as a side hobby. She loves horses and got inspired by her grandfather, who works on and fixes up saddles. I was interested to see how the leatherworking craft comes together, and Riata was happy to share her experience with me.
I've always just loved art stuff, and when I found out that you could do it with leather, it was really neat. My grandpa and my mom started doing it a few years ago, so then I started doing it and I really enjoyed it. Very different than other kinds of art, and I can make stuff for my course, and it's really fun to do. With my mom and with my sister and my dad, and we have fun making it together and making it for other people as well. I do sell some stuff on Etsy and at some local craft sales. Mostly bookmarks and stuff for your horse and journal covers and yeah, stuff like that. I'd like to do it as long as I can, but I guess we'll find out in the future. I can make a lot of things with my family, and we all kind of enjoy doing it, so we get to do it kind of together and bring each of our sides kind of together with it. You can make so many things that are like custom for yourself or for your horse with it, so it's cool.
Now we go from cattle to sharks. Not the kind who live in the ocean, the kind that live in the pool hall. That's the story that our Paige Hutchinson brings us now. Hi Paige, tell us more about this story.
Thanks, Oshi. I had the chance to interview Walter Cooper, an aspiring pool player from the Brandon area. Not only does Walter basically live at the pool hall, but he's also my Thursday night team captain. I hope you enjoy my interview with Walter.
My brother taught me. I was about around 8, 9, down at Velvet Rails. Every rack's different and the layouts are different. Makes you think. A lot of algebra. Winning Wednesday night pool league here in Brandon with Derek Spotter, Don Erickson, Dan Wilson, Todd Ricker, myself, and Virgil. We went to final match. We knocked down Jim McKenzie's team And they come back up, they beat us the first round, we have to go to the second round. I got more friends through school. Friends, and then you can make money more. Ooh, that's a tough one. I have to go with the banks. You learn something and something new comes up. They got flag football now, so why can't pool be in there? They got hockey, sledge hockey, everything. It's a sport in my books.
The wise folks say we should all march to the beat of our own drummers. Our Sage Descharme is with us. He's produced a story about a man who makes his own beats. Hello, Sage. Tell us more about the guy we're going to meet now.
Thanks, Oceana. I sat down with my friend, Carter Lowe, also known as Def Wizard, and he took me inside of his studio and showed me his process. He also talked about how it feels to start performing live. And yeah, let's check it out now.
My name is Carter Lowe. I go by Def Wizard, D-E-A-F, Dub, I-Z-R-D. I grew up in Nepal, Manitoba. I was raised by a mother and a rock star. Played drums, guitar, a little bit of keyboard, but I spend most of my time making beats and yelling over them. I started playing instruments when I was 7. My very first guitar was an Epiphone Flying V that I got from my dad, and he just taught me. He taught me Painted Black by the Rolling Stones. That was my very first song. Kind of picked up on drums after that. Started taking music seriously. That was probably when I was like 14, when I got my computer. I guess like making music. I just always made like little like lyrics and jingles as a kid. A classmate of mine in high school wanted me to make rap beats for him, so I just started doing that ever since I was like 14. I was raised around a lot by music. My dad's in a band, my grandpa plays instruments. It's just kind of like just been there around. Going to shows, watching documentaries and music videos with my dad. And I just kind of knew right then and there, like, that's all I want to do. I just want to play music. It used to be Guns N' Roses, The Beatles, Def Leppard, Aerosmith. And then when I kind of like grew out of my dad's music, kind of started listening to like other genres. The nu metal was kind of a big thing for me, like Slipknot, Deftones, System of a Down, and I was getting into like more of the hardcore stuff like Full of Hell, Converge, and I was also into like dance music and whatnot at the time too. I had a dubstep phase there, listening to Skrillex. Later on, when I first discovered Death Grips and Machine Girl and all that stuff, that's exactly what the kind of music I wanted to do. Usually, I just go in blind. I just go with the flow, really. I just kind of dig through my sounds and whatnot, and if I like something, then I'll build off of that. Or sometimes, like, I'll have an idea sparked up in my head when I'm at work or in the shower, or even when I'm sleeping, and then I'll just go right back to my room onto my computer, and then I'll try and recreate that. I feel like I'm mostly bad at everything. I'm always pretty hard on myself, but I guess that's also my greatness, is trying to be better than what I used to be yesterday. I played at many talent shows as a kid. I've just recently started playing my music like this summer, and it's like so much fun. It's something I want to keep doing for my entire life. It's just a lot of fun when you're up on stage and you just kind of like just be yourself, and it's like an expression to me, something I can vent to. It's like if you're having a bad day and you just gotta let it all out on someone, then that's pretty much what it is for me. And like seeing the people's like reaction, if they hate it, love it, or they just don't care, I still like any reaction, honestly. I like attention. It's a very hard road. Not a lot of people are gonna notice on your early stages. Just make music for yourself. Don't try to please everybody. I went through a tough time there where I was like trying to make music like for people, and then I just came to that realization I should just, just do it for myself, and look where it got me now. I'm starting to do shows, people are reaching out to me, liking my shit. They want to do collabs. It's pretty rewarding. And took me about like 7 years, and it's a long 7 years, painful, but as long as you keep going at it, like it will pay off. Just don't stop.
We all love food, but not everybody loves the preparation that goes into making a tasty meal. Stefan Struth is here. He has a story about someone who loves the creation as much as the consumption. Stefan, tell us about your story.
Thanks, Oceana. I had the chance to go out and meet Braden Patey, a chef from the Shiloh area who eventually plans on joining the military as a cook. As someone who's got to try his food, I can tell you he deserves a Michelin 3 stars already, but he's still going for his red seal. Now, Braden can cook as flashy and as fancy as he wants, but sometimes he enjoys the simpler things. Let's hear it from him.
My name is Braden. I am a culinary arts graduate from ACC, also a graduate from the Baking Foundations program offered by the same college. We are going to make chicken mushroom Alfredo, just something simple, something quick. Should be easy enough to follow along for anyone who has little to no cooking experience. You could show the super high-end stuff, but I think some of the most beauty that comes from cooking is taking something as simple as that dish and elevating it to a new level. I currently work at the Fringe out in Shiloh. It is a dive bar, so a lot of like pub-style food, plenty of like burgers, pizza, things like that. Also working on a military base, things get a little tunnel vision of what you can make, but I mean, I enjoy all styles of cooking, so I'm perfectly happy working there, for sure. I intend to join the military to try and get my Red Seal through them. Because I'll be working under Red Seal chefs, I can log all those hours towards getting my Red Seal. Also, I think just military cooking, I think there's a lot that you could learn from it. Obviously, discipline structure. There's a lot of similarities between like the military world and the cooking world when you're looking at them like kind of side by side. I just think it'd be an interesting experience. Also, being able to travel all around Canada and cook could be a very fun experience, and I'm kind of excited for it as well. Thank you for having me. I was glad I was able to showcase one of my many passions that I have in this industry.
Some crafters like to knit one and purl two, but our next subject is all about hooks and knots. Avery Burgess joins us now. Tell us more about who you met and what she does.
Thanks, Oshi. I talked to a longtime friend of mine, Caitlin Jones, who is interested in crochet, and she explained to me how fabric arts can be an important tool for self-expression and a productive hobby to pass the time. Hope you enjoy it.
My name is Caitlin Jones. I'm 27 years old. I'm an admin assistant at my work day and crocheter by night. I started doing knitting actually just, I guess, saw on social media all of the unique items that you can make doing crochet, as they're very different structurally. And I don't know, I always like to try new things. So I'm kind of self-taught / YouTube taught. So I just started looking up different videos and fell in love with it. And I crochet a lot more than I do knit now. It seems more difficult than knitting, but I actually find it a lot more fun and a lot more relaxing than knitting. With crochet, it's just easier to kind of branch out, and I find with clothes, just the way that you do the stitches is a lot easier to learn. I think I'm definitely gonna have arthritis. I think it's already coming for me. I think earlier this year I actually had tennis elbow. To hold the tension in just your one hand it can be quite difficult. And I do think maybe like my left hand fingers are a lot stronger than my right hand now, I bet you. If I am crocheting for long periods of time in a day or in a week and trying to go very quickly, I do feel it. There's always things I'm looking forward to. Even when I'm in the middle of a project, I'm looking at 25 other items on my list of things to do. I have like a mushroom character that I'm working on too. I'm definitely one of those people that just starts things and then gets bored and starts 4 other things. And I think definitely your best friend is YouTube. In this day and age, like you could find anything on there, any kind of pattern. That I find it a lot easier to watch somebody else kind of explain the pattern to me than it is to read, especially crochet patterns. I mean, I would definitely recommend you give it a try because I do love it and I do find it very relaxing to do now. And it's one of those things I think could be useful for the rest of your life. Like I've made clothes doing it, and I mean, I like to wear them and get compliments. That's always a bonus. So if it gets you off your phone and gives you something to do, I think everyone needs a hobby. So definitely if you can make it work, even if it's not crochet, if it's knitting or something to do with string and textiles, like it's just fun.
Well, that does it for our show today. Thanks so much for watching for all of us here at Assiniboine College and our team at Weed City Beat. I'm Oceana Hall. Hope you enjoyed our features. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.